Tell me this.
What?
Did you have problems with the old
What do you mean? What do you
like
mean?
did you have to take no? You didn't even
Nope.
have upset stomach at all?
Nope. Nope. I was fine. I ate in good places, Justin. Although I discovered something in Cairo that's a bit odd. When they make pizzas, they don't put tomato base on it. They just leave that alone. They don't put tomato on it. It's just cheese and then your topping. And then they give you sachets of tomato sauce to add your own.
Right? So there is
Yeah.
there is in pizza restaurants, fancy places, there's like a white sauce, a cheese sauce, and a tomato sauce. You can have either of them are.
No. But no, I was over in Egypt. I was over celebrating my 50th birthday, if I'm totally honest. And now that I'm 50, I think I'm going to line up a fight with your man, Jake Paul. I
All right.
think will be the way forward. Because he seems to be fight. If Mike Tyson got $20 million to throw one punch every minute, now I could do that. I think I could manage that easy enough, throwing a punch a minute, for 20 million. But basically, they stood there and didn't do anything. But the other thing was the sweat was pissing off them, and they didn't actually fucking do anything. So I could do that. So I'm old enough now that I could fight Jake Paul. Hang on, a wee thing popped up.
Could you? Yes.
I
Yes.
probably could. I could muster that. But yeah, so I was over. I sent you some photos.
Yes. Yes. Indeed. Yes.
So I did.
We'll go here first, shall we? I think.
Well, that's the Egyptian Museum. It's some fucking place. Like, honestly, if you've never been, it's Cairo itself's nuts. I mean, the driving is. I've never seen anything like it in my life, if I'm totally honest. But the Egyptian Museum's amazing. The sites around it are amazing. People are really nice and friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
This is you trying to be Roger Moore in The Spy Who Loved Me.
Well, something like that. What that is, that's Saqqara. That's just outside the Step Pyramid, right? And that's where the pharaohs used to stand before they went. They had to kill a bull in order to get them to basically warrant them being allowed to be pharaoh. So that was the exact spot they used to stand before they went down into the arena. So I was standing there, and Pharaoh, Osama, my guide, he says, "Oh, you must stand like a pharaoh." He says, "Put your left leg forward." So I stood, and he said, "Oh, you are now the pharaoh." No, it was good. It's good crack. He was a good lad.
Okay, so it's a bit like statues here. You have to stand in a certain pose, and
Well, that was it. That was the way the pharaohs done it, and then they had to go out into the thing and slaughter a bull.
Is that where best foot forward comes from?
Don't know.
Okay,
I wouldn't have thought so.
right.
But yeah, no, that was cool. And then did my camel ride over to Giza.
Oh yeah, there was a stone here. There was a stone.
Sorry, right. I forgot about that. That's a cut piece of pink granite.
That looks like it's cut by a laser.
Honest to God, it's fucking incredible. I mean, it is genuinely incredible when you see the stuff, man. And I mean, that stone's just lying there. They've obviously pulled it down. It's fuck knows how long it's been lying there. But I mean, it is unbelievable. When you get to see it, it's just fantastic. Really, really, really cool. Really cool place.
Wow, look good. Looks stunning. Look at that there.
And that was me on the back of a camel. That was the first time I saw the Sphinx. So I come out over the top. It's it's like us going to the Giant's Causeway. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's a bit gimmicky, but you do. I love a gimmick. I keep telling people.
Gimmicks work. Gimmicks work. Gimmicks work. Is it close up or far away there?
It's a close up or far away. Oh, it's a fair distance away. Yeah, that's a
Right.
fair.
Okay.
That's a fair distance away.
Right.
That's up on the top of a height that you look down over the top of that.
Right.
That's where you get down into the Sphinx. But no, it's two separate bits, so you have to go to one bit and do another bit.
Okay.
But yeah,
but it wasn't all. It wasn't all Egyptian stuff. You managed to sample some of the nectar.
No. What we done was we took over some stuff because I've had some stuff kicking about, and I didn't actually take a check bag, so I couldn't take very much. So I was bringing over miniatures. So I brought over. Well, this is the 41-year-old Port Morant rum from Guyana. And this was distilled the year I was born and aged for 41 years in cask. And that come with a bottle of Dunville's, the Port Morant rum that came in the big presentation box that we opened and drank. So I opened that, and chuffing lovely it was too.
Okay.
I mean, it was real nice. It's very nice. But no, I've had that for a while because I drunk the bottle. I think some of the people will be watching this. They get a share of that bottle. We've done it one night. We were up in Stanley's. So yeah. So I took that one. Took another one. Armagnac. It's a 50-year-old Armagnac, and I was given that in El Paso by Mr. Bacta's sister, who I have her card somewhere. I've never actually followed her up. And that was a 50-year-old Armagnac. So it was very pleasant. I have to say, it was very pleasant. And then I had some other stuff as well that I took over. I took over Lakeview or Sir Maurice O'Connell. We took over a miniature of his first release. So I bought 3 bottles of it, I think, 3, something like that. And he gave me miniatures with them. So I opened one of them ages ago, but I thought I'll open another one. And I had a few other bits and bobs as well. So it was quite nice. Wasn't 100% sure what access to getting booze over in Egypt was going to be like.
Mm-hmm.
But I discovered something, Justin. Because you see in this little bottle, this miniature I brought back,
Yes.
is some Devlin whiskey, which is made in Egypt.
Right.
This is an Egyptian single malt. Now, I sent you over some pictures of it.
Which are here.
Yeah. So this bottle, this is made in it must be in a vineyard. And to be honest, it does have a slightly sort of brandy / cognac-y taste to it. Excuse me. But it is 100% malt. It's a single malt. It cost £700 for that bottle, Justin.
Why?
Because it's Egyptian pounds, which works out about £8.59.
That's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, but in Egypt, that's a premium product.
It looks it. I like it.
Yeah, but let me tell you the truth, right? If I had to say, is it great whiskey, I would have to say no, it's not great. But is it bad? Well, no, it's not actually. It's not going to set the world alight, but it's definitely not. I've tasted a lot worse. It's cost me an awful lot more money than that.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah.
Again, there's not an awful lot of information about it. It's made at the, hang on, I'll just put the glycos on. Gianniclis Vineyard, which is, you can take a bus to it from Cairo, apparently. I never did, but apparently you can. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's very young. But definitely not the worst whiskey I've ever tasted in my life. It just isn't. It's owned, the company, which is, I sent you the link for it there, Al Ahram Beverages, is the parent company who produced this. But it is made by them, which is a key point because we think to mention here in a minute. So if you bring up the website,
oh boy, if I can.
You had it a minute ago.
Yes, I know, but it's asking me for something else now, the same as it did when you tried to log in. But we'll try it again. And do we have it? We do.
That's it.
12,
1920.
1976. And there you go. I'm 2 years younger than you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that brings it up. Tells you a little bit about it. You can go on to the our brands, the Devlin brand, and it brings you up. Devlin single malt whiskey is the first premium single malt whiskey produced in Egypt, made from malted barley, distilled in a copper pot still to achieve the highest level. It's left to age in oak casks until our master distiller says it has reached optimum thing. Notes of vanilla, cinnamon, nutmeg. It's a long, mellow finish. Wouldn't say that. Making it a great companion for most occasions. Devlin took its time to get here. You take it from there. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's not the best whiskey in the world, but it's not the worst either. And they're making it themselves. First single malt made in Egypt, and it's sold through liquor stores or off license, whatever you want to call them, called Drinkies. Drinkies. It was just round the corner from us. So that's one of the reasons I picked where we stayed. Surprise. Walked around, Drinkies. There was about 8 people working in it, and it was looked like it was in a building, but it was like half the size of a shipping container, and it had like beer and cider and stuff, and then it had some whiskies, and Devlin's was the premium one. So yeah, it's not the worst at all, to be quite honest with you. Again, take it for what it is. If you ever get a chance to try Devlin's Egyptian whiskey, don't think you're going to be. It's not a 21-year-old malt. It's okay. And it's probably, even as it is, most people will stick ginger or Coke in it. But yeah, it's not the worst whiskey I've ever tried in my life. Sean, is Egypt dodgy at all? No, absolutely not. Lots of people asking for money, quite a bit. You know, the wee guys would come up and point at their mouth and then hold their hand out, like this, and you're like, oh, fuck off. But then there's a couple of kids, and you know they're not wearing shoes, and you know that they could you, so you gave them a couple of quid, you know. But no, me and walked around Giza, walked around Cairo, police everywhere. Like, I must tell you, the driving's totally insane. But when we were getting our airport transfer, I hired a guy to come and take us up to the airport. He picked us up in the car, and he drove around the block. I think he drove up thinking he could go onto the motorway at the top of this, but he couldn't, and then he came back round again. Traffic light red. He pulls up and stops. Now there's security cops everywhere, right? Obviously, President Sisi wants to make sure there's no insurrections. Come on. He pulls up, driver puts down the window, and there's a cop. There's cops, been van loads of them everywhere. Puts down the window, and he goes, blah, 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 blah. And your man goes, dup, 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 dup. Dead on. And then just drive through the red light. So the red light was there as an advisory thing. We literally asked the cop where he go and then drive straight through. Fuck it, let's go.
I love it.
It was nuts, but a class place. Really, really interesting, bizarre, totally different, and well worth doing. I mean, it's not that expensive to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really cool, and I think I'll be back again. But whenever I Google Devlin's whiskey, have a guess, Justin, what pops up?
Devlin's Irish whiskey.
Devlin's Irish whiskey. Yes, that pops up. Now, I sent you the website.
Yep.
For Devlin's Irish whiskey. Now, Devlin's Irish whiskey, if you go to the Our Story page, because on the page that says it's aged to perfection in charred oak casks, creating the perfect flavour blend found only in the best Irish whiskies. Smooth and sweet with a nutty flavour, Devlin's Irish whiskey has balanced flavours and toasted. Walking in the footstep of their ancestors, Devlin's handcrafts their Irish whiskey by using an original family blend that has survived for over 200 years. With pride in their heritage and respect for the homeland, they combine traditional Irish whiskey techniques with ingredients unique to Ireland. So there you go, Justin. It's made in Cooley by a corporation that's registered in LA. So the 200 years of tradition, that would be a load of old bollocks.
Is LA even 200 years old? I don't think it is.
No, it's not. I mean, it's what a load of fucking crap. If you go onto the website, it's one of these ones that if you go to the distributor assets, they basically tell you it's a Cooley, and I'm sure the whiskey's probably pleasant enough. But it's all this bollocks. There's a little Devlin in all of us. Little play of words there, Justin. And basically what they've done is they've obviously asked ChatGPT to come up with something. Because
what's wrong with that? I do it for our blogs sometimes.
But that's fair enough. Everybody does it, but it's quite obvious that that's what these guys have done. And they come out with all this crap about the Devlin family motto and how the Devlins are supposed to have led the 1641 rebellion and all this fucking crap. But it's owned by a corporation in in LA. I
Never,
said,
never let the truth get in the way of the story.
but what I'm trying to say is, if this is the fucking state of Irish whiskey, right? The Levesque, I sent you the link for it. Levesque Corporation.
Yep.
They're trying to go on about the Irish heritage and all this stuff, right? The Egyptian fucking whiskey's got more authenticity than that has. A lot more. Okay, the name might be a bit of a Devlin. Are they trying to do it? But they don't have any pretense about it. And if this is what's going to be passed off the Irish whiskey stuff and all the sort of plastic paddy crap, I mean, we can do better than this. I mean, that's just a corporation who literally just, fuck it, we'll buy that stock and do that, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they actually have a rope-a-dope cinnamon whiskey. Rope-a-dope cinnamon whiskey. That might be quite gutty. That'd be some stuff.
Is that not like Fireball XL5 or something like
Oh,
that?
something. But I mean, the thing is, it's when the Egyptian whiskey has more authenticity than stuff that's passing itself off as Irish whiskey. I mean, there's nothing wrong with buying in stock. There's nothing wrong with putting it out and saying this is our product. But whenever you're trying to say, "Oh, we have 200 years of heritage," it's made to a family recipe. What are you talking about? It's bought out of a former industrial alcohol plant by a corporation in LA and fired off as if it's something else. And you probably buy it in Costco or whatever it is. And it's just, it really sort of pissed me off because no doubt if the Egyptians tried to sell their whiskey in Ireland, they wouldn't be allowed to do it because they would be in breach of copyright. When they're actually making it themselves, you know, it just, I don't know, it sort of pissed me off, if I'm totally honest. But anyway, that's my rant. But yeah, surprise, surprise, Egyptians doing a bit of work, doing their own thing, and then whenever you come back, oh no, some corporation in America has basically copied their stuff. Just pathetic, just pathetic. Anyway, rant over. Next up, with a new release, Justin, my Christmas is coming, so don't be scared to put the old hand in the pocket. Because the second release of the Forêt de Tronquet from Middleton has, now I do say the box and the bottle are absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. Now, it's a non-age statement blend made from a French oak cask made by this. It's in the blurb. I can't remember the name. Anyway, it's made by this handcrafted cask premium thing. Blah blah blah. And it looks fantastic, but it is £5,000 a bottle, €5,000 a bottle, so £4,388 is what you're paying for it sterling. Now, a couple of the first editions have popped up at auction recently, and they're not getting retail, but they're not far away. And as we know, what tends to happen with first release bottles, people go, oh, not spending that. Once they do second edition, third edition, first editions tend to do that and separate themselves a bit. So don't be surprised if the edition number one starts to bump up in value, because people then can get a collection. So I'd be interested to see what this does. But the first release, I know where there's still a couple of those for sale. Which if they start bumping up above retail, you'll see them disappearing fairly quick, I would think. Yeah. But yeah, I know the friend at hand has a couple of them for sale. Although if they start bumping up in value, I'll not sell them because that's pretty much how you operate. Yeah. But yeah, as I say, I know there's a couple in there. The friend also, they were doing a bit of a promotion. They don't really do promotions, but they were doing because they still have some 2023, 2024 Middleton sitting, and they're doing like a combo. If you buy them both, you can get them both for, was it £400, something like that? So
that's pretty good.
It was all right. It's dead on, but no, because there's loads of that 2023 and 2024 floating about. I think people, once they went into the egg boxes, were a bit not overly keen in this. Okay. So it's not as collectible, which So we'll see what happens, but I know they have plenty of it in Belfast. So yeah, that's the Forêt de Tronquet. It's vanilla and loads of cream, clove, spice, tannins, candy, ginger, and all that. Nobody will ever drink it anyway. It's only for collection and display. But it is a nice bottle, it is a nice box, and it's easy enough to get if you have a spare £5 grand,
Lovely stuff.
which I know you do, Justin. Anyway, on the other side of the scale, there's a bit of a strange thing. I troll through the news basically for whiskey stuff every week. I am that big a nerd. But what has been popping up over the last while is news stories newspapers passing off news stories when actually they're adverts.
Yep.
So, if you go to the Daily Record, now this isn't the only paper doing this. I've seen lots of it. Subtle single malt whiskey praised for infusion of flavour, cut on Amazon by 37%. And it's portrayed as if it's like a headline.
It's product placement.
Well, it actually just says at the thing, once you sort of read the sub-headline, then and below it says, this article contains affiliate links. We will receive a commission on any sales we generate from it. But it goes on to start telling you all about the great balance and the award-winning tipple, blah, blah, blah. And it's been cut by Amazon and so on and so forth. And, you kind of think to yourself, they talk about the legacy media. Do they really need to be doing this? Are they that desperate for money? They're looking for 10%.
They maybe do. We could do that too. I mean, I sort of went through the motions of setting it up and saying, this is our Amazon affiliate link, and we could white label or black label or whatever it's called, whiskey products. I
know, but could you be bothered? I don't. I can't really be arsed. I wouldn't make enough money if I was going to make a lot of money. I might think about it.
But people are looking for whiskey on this channel, and we might as well get 5p in a bottle. You know what I'm saying?
So we're going to copy the Daily Record, the Liverpool Echo, all them papers that are doing all this crap. That's what you're going to say. Where's your integrity here, Justin? Oh, right, that's all right. Still for the price of a fish supper.
Correcto mundo.
You know what I said to my dad earlier on, right? I was talking to my dad about that fight. The Tyson the Tyson Logan or Jake Paul fight. I says Justin would move faster than Tyson. If there was a free sandwich at the end of the fight, Justin they were like, fuck. I says it was pathetic. But no, as I say, this is a bit crap, really, let's be honest.
I know. There we go.
Now, a couple of other quick things. Next Friday night, the 22nd, no, wrong one. You're right in front.
I'm weak in front. Okay.
Yeah. Over at the Cross Keys.
Oh, yes.
All right. Yep.
There we go. Cross Keys.
If you've never been to the Cross Keys, and it is an absolutely beautiful place, run by Vincent and Mel Hurd. And they're doing a whiskey tasting night. 22nd, I think starts at 8 p.m. Look out on their Facebook page and stuff.
Yeah.
£25 a ticket. Don't know much more details than that. But they do have their own whiskey, the Cross Keys whiskey.
Yep. Which is there.
So the Cross Keys whiskey, and then they also have the McAllister brand, which they Ballymena on it, Ballymena whiskey. So they have that as well. And even better than that, it's going to be hosted by the birthday boy. It's his birthday today. Jim from the Friend at Hand is going to be hosting it. So that'll be a nice night out if you're free and available in the area. Well worth popping yourself out to the Cross Keys. As I say, I don't have a huge amount of detail, but if you keep an eye on the Cross Keys Facebook page or other socials and whatnot, I'm sure you'll get a bit more detail. The following Friday night, over in the Go Sun,
it is.
We are doing 29th of November, 8 p.m. 4 whiskies with Christmas ideas. And I always love the way Stanley says light bites. Nobody ever leaves the Cross Keys or the Go Sun hungry. I can tell you that. You know that anyway.
Yeah.
He brings out plates of food, plates and plates and plates of stuff. So we're doing a little bit higher end bottlings. So it's a little bit more expensive this time. But you're going to get 4 premium whiskies, food, and we always have a bit of crack. They're always a great wee night. So this is the one for sort of Christmas ideas. So Christmassy whiskies, maybe something you could get as a present yourself, or possibly an idea.
Staff night out, even.
Well, no, not really, because there's too many, not enough space. I mentioned this last week. The Scots Irish whiskey, £15 a bottle. So I bought myself a couple of them, and this will not be at Stanley's, by the way. £15 a bottle, and that's delivery and all. So buy 3 bottles for 45 quid, and it's nice enough. It's dead on. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Anyway, that's the news. That's everything done, dusted, all thing. And this week we have a returning guest. We have someone who's actually been on before and wasn't offended by you, Justin.
That makes a change. That makes a change. That makes a
No,
change.
that's what I'm saying. It's a rarity. It's a rarity.
It makes
So
a change.
we're joined by Jim Nash of the Wild Atlantic Distillery because you have a big day coming up. You have a birthday.
Marty and Justin, it's good to see you again. You kill me every time I come on, guys, because the last time I was on, you were announcing the 50 million distillery from U2. Tonight you're talking about a corporation in LA and a £5,000 bottle of whiskey.
Well, you see, I have to cater to Justin's needs. This is the style to which Justin is on, But no, all these big things. It's the thing is, you've got all this big stuff, and then you've all the little stuff. That's why I kind of was talking about the Egyptian whiskey. There's a wee distillery over in Egypt that's more authentic and more honest than the guys that are going to be selling shitloads over in Costco or whatever the fuck they'll be selling it. And it's like that it just doesn't ring right. It just doesn't,
No, I agree.
But you have a big day coming.
We do on the 21st of December. Our first whiskey will be of age, as they say.
Yeah.
It'll be our first release. So I think it's almost three, and since August 21, I was speaking to you last.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, we laid down our first cask on the 20th of December, 21. And it's been a crazy 3 years since then.
Yeah.
And we're ready now to bottle and label it once it comes of age. Unfortunately, I have nothing to show you at the moment because our bottles are coming next week or within the next 10 days.
Yeah.
And our labels and boxes are all coming as well. So we've a beautiful bespoke bottle, Italian glass, on its way to us now. A beautifully designed box out of Belfast, stunning looking, even though I say so myself. And we've used a great local artist, Mike Crone, art and design, to do our design of our box and labels and everything else like that. So yeah, we're very, very excited because it feels like an eternity, to be honest, guys, that we've
sure it does.
patiently waiting for it, but it's here now. And the 2 years in a bourbon cask, and then we switched it into a beautiful finishing cask that came from Darnua Cooperage down in Foxford in County Mayo.
Oh, lovely.
A great crew down there. 2 coopers and two in training. So I'd say they're probably the biggest coopers in Ireland at this stage now.
I would think they probably are, yeah.
Yeah. And it's the first cask that ever arrived to us that was bubble wrapped. And I've never seen a cask delivered bubble wrapped, but the price of it, it was over $1,000 for a cask. But it's a beautiful cask. So yeah, we're really, really excited about what's
I'm sure
coming.
you are. I mean, it must feel like, like delivery. I always say this to people whenever their first one comes. It's like kind of your first kids being born. All the excitement
Exactly.
of the excitement.
But sometimes, you've been talking there, and I was listening to you last week as well. You were talking about your trip to Cairo, but you were talking as well about, buying in a whiskey and doing a blend or bringing a whiskey out and stuff like that. And Brian and I decided at the very beginning that, we were going to just do the white spirits until the whiskey came of age. But sometimes I do wonder,
Yeah.
would it have been a little bit easier to start with somebody else's whiskey and bring it in? But we decided not. And that's just us being patient until it's come of age now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never critical of people doing anything to keep the lights on. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
You have the responsibility of paying the staff and all, getting wages out of yourself and whatnot. And But people who are open and honest about it's fine. Let's just say, "Oh, we're got our own spirit, but we're doing this. This is what we want to do." Fine, that's okay. It's whenever it's that duplicitous. We've got 800 years of history and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
No, you only registered the fucking company last Friday. Do you know what I mean? And there's a bit of that sort of duplicity, bought in heritage stuff that kind of annoys me. Yeah, if they buy the brand and are registered here and they're doing stuff here and they're employing people here and they're building infrastructure here, that covers up a lot of that crack stuff, right? It's
Yeah.
whenever it's some dude in a office in LA who's went, all right, we'll just register that, right? Chat GPT, what's the fucking right? That'll do, and it just pops up, right? Buy in some stock, and there, we've got 800 years of heritage or whatever crap. It's just no, hang on, that's underhand. That's taking it too far, And again, there's the other thing that's sort of, the way your flavor preferences kind of change over a period of time.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to get back to sort of bourbon cask finish. I think all the big flavors that win in all the awards have been for a good number of years now.
Yeah.
They've got loads of flavor, yes, but it's the finishing that's doing it all. It's they're pumping in the sherry casks, and well, you and I both know that there could be a drop of sherry lying on the bottom of that, that seeps out of the wood, and we'll just put it in there and it helps. It'll sweeten it up a bit. So moving back to sort of, I don't know, come back to basics a little bit. I'm quite happy with bourbon cask stuff now,
Yeah, well, it's there's a lot of people now going back, they're going back to virgin oak, American oak, or virgin French oak, and then they're going to bourbon casks. So there's a kind of return to that,
Yeah.
And I was recently in Spain and Portugal visiting some wineries and stuff, looking at casks and stuff, and you'd be quite surprised how many casks they've got of French oak and American oak, a virgin, just sitting in storage.
Yeah.
And some of the big players, some of the big distilleries, hundreds and hundreds of casks. So there's a kind of a little bit return to that.
Yeah.
And I was really fascinated by the American oak casks, the virgin ones, because get that lovely, lovely vanilla coming off the virgin oak out of the American cask.
Yeah.
A little less in the French side of it. But there's a lot of that kind of experimentation going on now, people looking at different things, which is really interesting.
Well, I mean, virgin oak, for anyone that doesn't know, the thing with virgin oak is it has to be managed really well, because it can get very astringent very quick.
Yeah.
And then you obviously have the problems of trying to blend that out. But I think that the sherry cask's great, and if it's well done, it's really well done.
Yeah.
But right, my tolerance for sweetness disappears very quick. So I've kind of went, right, I've done that, I've moved back. We'll get back to just appreciating bourbon casks, that level of nice vanilla sweetness, rather than the big sort of Glendronach sherry bomb type stuff,
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll enjoy what we've put together. When it comes out in the next couple of weeks, a couple of, by the end of December. So
hang on. Where's the countdown is progressing? Because if you go on, there's the countdown. That's disappeared on me. It's like 34 days and it's on the seconds and everything, so you can get the whole when exactly it's going to be ready.
Exactly. So it's getting there, and it'll be, because it's our first release as well, it'll be a lottery. We've generated a lot of interest in it, over the last number of weeks. So we're already beyond registered with people on it, but we'll be doing a lottery. So it'll be names out of the hat, and if you're lucky enough to get your name, then you get the option to buy it or not. But it's really interesting.
Not just for everybody, because if you signed up and were a member of the 1921 club.
Well, exactly. If you were fortunate enough, which I believe you are, Marty, you will get a complimentary bottle.
Excellent stuff.
I think 5 minutes after we started the 1921 club, we were going, are we doing the right thing? But yes, it was very good at the very start. We got a lot of interest in it. And it was a beautiful little package, and you got the glass and everything, membership card and everything with it. But you're going to get a fabulous looking bottle of whiskey, let me tell you.
Excellent.
So it was a very, very, very good investment.
No, we like them, and again, we like first release stuff, because to me that it's people who are saying, right, this is our stuff, and we want him, and it should be sort of a grand presentation, because it's your first foray as such, you know, your own
Oh,
stuff.
100%. You know, and we like I said, we've been waiting so long for this now that we're kind of very excited about it and really, really looking forward to it. But you know, we've a lot more coming next year. There's a
Yeah.
lot more kind of styles of whiskey that we'll be bringing out. We're a small distillery, so we're really interested in doing things a little bit differently. So
Yeah.
with every release, it'll be a little bit of a change, a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And like the 188 cask clubs, where most of these casks will be coming from, are all being finished differently in all different types. And so, you know, every release will be a little bit different, which makes it interesting for us as well, because, you know, we're
Yeah.
whiskey enthusiasts at the end of the day. And we like to do, you know, you don't want to be doing the same thing over and over again. You want to be doing little tweaks and changes and making a different style of whiskey as well, because, you know, Brian and I would like all different styles of whiskey. So
Yeah.
the only exception to that is peated whiskey. I'm not a big fan of peated whiskey, never have been. And I grew up in County Clare, in the bogs of County Clare, and
I
my
love that. I hate peated whiskey.
yeah, my granddad used to, you know, like everybody else, they would have made a wee bit of poachine and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And we used to spend the summers cutting turf. Let me tell you, my granddad would never let a sod of turf anywhere near his poachine, ever.
Well, if you've ever spent any time in the moss cutting peat, you appreciate a bag of coal.
Yeah. Well, we used to cut the wood and stuff like that, and they'd use the wood and stuff like that. But there's plenty of guys out there now making peated whiskey, and
Oh yeah.
it's good. Like I know the boys like James and those guys from Ardra Distillery, and they make
Mm-hmm.
very, very good stuff. And he's a big fan of the peated style,
He
and there's a
does.
few others.
He likes that,
But
and again, if everybody liked the same thing, as Ray and the friend at hand says, if everybody liked the same thing, there'd only be made for one
yeah,
whiskey. So that's
exactly.
that. You know, yeah, it's horses for course. I love peated whiskey, although I haven't drank an awful lot of it for the past while. Although I was given a bottle of the peated Hinch there a couple of weeks ago. I must crack that open very shortly. But yeah, so you're saying about different styles of stuff that's coming next year. So your initial release is coming at the end of this
Our
year.
initial release is coming this December, and then we'll have one, maybe two releases next year. We're also going to bring out a blended whiskey as well. So, and the blended whiskey is simply because of volume.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we've a lot of interest in it, but we can't be. You know, the specialty releases will be all small batch.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring out a blended whiskey more for the general marketplace. So some stage, probably late spring, early summer is when we'll be bringing out a blended whiskey. And again, you know,
And is it the blended whiskey going to be the sort of backbone of the
yeah, the
distillery?
blended
Yeah.
whiskey will be kind of the backbone, and then we'll have the specialty releases and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just until you might not see, but behind me, I have a lovely little picture there. So this is where we're heading. We're a small little distillery now at the moment, but we're just about to sign off on 6 acres and build
Cool.
a state-of-the-art new distillery. So that hopefully will be ready by late 2027, and 2-ton system. So producing,
well,
you know, 400,000 to 600,000 liters a year when it's fully operational.
yeah,
You know.
a bigger operation completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and will you be maturing on site? Will there be?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, we'll be maturing on site, producing everything ourselves, maturing on site and stuff like that. So when we get to that stage, then at the scale of it and everything else, we'll be able to produce everything. We make everything ourselves anyhow as it is, Marty and Justin. You know, but we only make small amounts of it. But
yeah,
you know,
now your white spirits, you've been doing really well with your white spirits.
yeah, our white spirits are doing phenomenally well. Like, you know, they're heading into, you know, we've shipped them to Eastern Europe. We're heading to the States, Canada with those products, all over North and South here in Ireland, and into mainland UK as well. All award-winning spirits as well. They've all done exceptionally well. 2 gins. Our wild strawberry and elderflower gin this year. I know you're not a big fan of the white spirits, Marty, but
no, that my problem is I don't like juniper berries. And
right.
that once you don't like juniper berries, gin becomes a bit of a. There's some gins I can kind of take. I can't take too much of them. The fact that I like some gins, I can manage them.
We have
Okay.
we have a beautiful wild strawberry and elderflower gin, which is a 40% flavored gin, which is again it's kind of unusual because most flavored gins tend to be liqueurs, so it'll be 20-25%.
Yeah.
And
You see,
that
I like gin. I like gin,
there you go.
Jim. But on my food intolerance list is actual juniper berries.
Get out of it.
Yeah,
Sure.
it
Well,
is. But I
one of
still
the
eat them anyway.
Surprise. What a surprise.
one of my favorite products is our vodka. We have an Amalfi lemon flavored vodka, which is my opinion is exceptional.
I've never seen that. No, I've never. See, I would drink that.
Well,
Let me see.
that's a bottle of it there. So the Amalfi lemon, like we peel the Amalfi lemons, we extract the essence from that, and we blend it into the vodka. So you get this really, really potent Amalfi lemon flavor and taste coming off it, and that's one, at the IWSC in San Francisco, double bronze and silver at the London Spirit Awards as well.
Yeah.
And but it's one that I get people to sample because it surprises people. That's the main product spearhead in the States for us because they're big vodka fans.
You see,
But
I like lemon. Lemon's one of my favorite flavors, and I like that Amalfi lemon stuff.
You would enjoy that, it's always been the case with us making our own craft spirits and stuff like that, and all that passion and everything that we do in the craft has gone into the whiskey now as well. So we put a lot of time and effort into the whiskey. We think we've got something really, really good.
Yeah.
I will arrange for you at some stage to get a wee sample of it, Marty, and you give me your true and honest opinion.
At some point, Justin and myself might, and maybe some other people might come down and pay a wee visit and see what's going on. You never would know that.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome. You're more than welcome down. Absolutely, 100%. But it's it's exciting times.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
Yeah, to come through COVID, as you remember, like we started.
Yeah.
When we opened it on the 1st of February 2020, closed it 6 weeks later, and then COVID, like everybody else. So to survive all that, come through at the other side, keep laying down the whiskey,
keeping
to be at a stage now where between this Christmas and next year, we've got a number of whiskies coming out. Yeah, it's exciting. It's good times,
I'm sure it is, and I mean, in terms of local sales, because when you're selling the stuff, are you going to be selling it by yourselves through website and also distribution locally?
No, we have a distributor here in Northern Ireland, Anzac up in Ballycastle, good distributor, Gary and the crew up there. And we have a good relationship with them, and they're a good distributor. So I'm hoping that when we have the volume with the blended whiskies and stuff like that, there'll be an interest that we will move the product through them. But listen, you're talking there about the interest in whiskey and why these corporations are getting involved in whiskey and stuff like that. I got a phone call last year. We have a distributor based in Delaware in the US, and they happened to mention to somebody in California that we were a distillery making whiskey. So I got a phone call one day out of the blue just saying, listen, I have 50, 60 superstores in California. Would you be able to produce 300,000 bottles of white label Irish whiskey? And I just laughed. I said, man, I'd love to be able to supply. I said, but I've got about 350 bottles coming at Christmas. If it's any good to you. But this is the kind of madness that's out there. I mean, it's good in one way that the demand for Irish whiskey is out there, but I was chatting to the great.
If I was you, I'd have been on the phone to Devlin immediately saying, "Yeah, hey guys, get the castle out."
Do you have a bottle? Can you give me 300,000 bottles and about two tanker loads of Tipex?
I almost picked up the phone and rang John Teeling. I met John Teeling at a couple of events there last year. And John Teeling is just a legend in the business. But he's what I like about John is that he's very welcoming. We're new in the business, and but he would chat away to you all day. He always, he'll come up, "Oh, Jim, how's things going? How are you guys getting on?" And he wants to see you doing well.
Absolutely.
He's got the enthusiasm still at 80 something years of age that he always had, and he loves to see Irish whiskey doing well.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Irish whiskey wouldn't be doing well if it wasn't for John Teeling.
No, 100%,
Wouldn't be.
100%.
Just wouldn't be.
But he's kind of, chatting to him and chatting to other people, like, you're talking about brands and stuff like that. But, we're working now with a local farmer here in County Tyrone, David. So our first grain was harvested there. Barley was harvested there recently. It's in the drying stage now, and we'll be sourcing, like, we like a lot of people. We got our grain out of Minch Malts down in County Kildare, and they supply a lot of people and stuff like that. But ironically, David was supplying Minch Malts, and then it was probably coming back to us, and he's 20 minutes away from us. So I met him at an event last year. So now we'll be sourcing grain to glass, and it's one of the reasons we've decided to kind of scale up, is because we could stay the size we are forever and ever and just keep ticking along and stuff like that. But I can see it coming down the line that if you're not making your own whiskey, if you're not sourcing your own grain, if you're not dealing with sourcing your own bourbon casks and bringing them in by the container load, I can see 5-10 years down the line, if things keep going the way they're going, that if you're just a brand, you're going to have difficulty sourcing whiskey.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, put it like this. I mean, yourself, the cost of like casks and stuff has rocketed up.
They've tripled the price in 3 years since we were buying them for £100 a cask, and
that was probably them shipped and all, or
yeah. They're close to 300 now.
Yeah,
all our costs are going exponentially greater, but we're not raising. We can't really raise the price too far of our products because there's, premium or not, there's a limit.
Yeah,
how much you can squeeze off the consumer and stuff like that.
But
I can see that happening, and I had funny enough, I don't know why we get these phone calls out of the blue, but I had a guy ring me last year, and he had a whiskey in 40 states in the US, and he was getting it supplied from Ireland. And I guess the distillery woke up one day and kind of questioned, why are we supplying this guy our whiskey when we could be doing it ourselves? So they just decided to cut him off.
Yep.
So he's ringing the country, and I'm sure I wasn't the only one he rang. Yeah. Is there any chance you could supply? So this is what's going to happen to these people, unless you're somebody who's got 10 million or 20 million and you can throw it into the brand and market it globally and stuff like that.
Yeah, and take the hit for a few years,
Yeah. So I think in the long run, that's where we've gone with scaling up and making it the size we're trying to make it and stuff like that, and grow it.
Well, put like this, it gives you an awful lot of protection. You control an awful lot. I mean, I've said this. I heard a bit of a rumor, and this is, I'm sure most people have heard this. That one of the big boys, biggest, was thinking of buying GND, and if they did, what would that mean? Because lots of people get all their stuff from GND. That's the business model John Teeling did, and so on. You imagine, let's just say, for example, possibly Diageo bought that. They would basically control the entire Irish whiskey industry, or the 95% of it, in basically a stroke of a pen.
Would monopolies and mergers allow that? Would they?
Well, I don't see how they would be able to stop it, to be honest. Because what they do is they could turn around and just say, "Oh, we'll honour these contracts. We're not renewing them, but we'll honour them." And then they would basically control the entire 90% of the Irish whiskey industry would be controlled by one company, and that's them buying that. So having all of those protections where you do source your stuff is, I think, probably very smart, very sensible.
But there's the good news for us, and for there's, like, as you know, 40 to 50 distilleries out there now, small like us and stuff like that. As long as that continues to grow and you have that choice and that option, then we'll be safe enough. As long as people are making their own spirit and making their own product and stuff like that. But it just takes a bad harvest 1 year. All the big boys are contracted in for all the barley and all the grain and everything else. Takes a bad harvest, and then the small boys get cut out. So you've got to try and protect that and make sure that there's a future. There is a future for Irish whiskey, definitely, and hopefully a lot of the medium to small guys will survive all of that
Yeah.
and the way forward, you know.
We'll put it like this: the likes of Devlin's, the Egyptians will probably still be going, because have you seen the state of their cars? Let's see how the fuck they're still going, you know. But no, but I think that's probably a smart idea. Your first release bottling, they've all sold out. The 1921 Club.
Well, the 1921 Club has sold out, but we still have we've about 350 bottles in total. There's what 145 or so of the 1921 Club.
Okay.
And then the balance then will be going to lottery.
Mm.
So that's the way that we'll do it. So we put a lot of effort into the bottle. We put a lot of effort into the packaging, how it looks, how it presents. A lot of effort, massive effort into the whiskey.
Yep.
We're happy. We think it's a very, very good whiskey. Hopefully everybody will agree with us as well. We've had a few experts in to kind of have a look and sample it and stuff like that. And the kind of feedback we've been getting is that even though it's not technically a whiskey yet, that they're saying, you know, without us telling them exactly, they're going, you know, this is a good 5-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing something right. But I would be a big fan of Fionn. And, you know, Fionn said a few years ago, because there was always this debate, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, there was always this debate in Irish whiskey about how important was the cask. And the cask is important. But I would be more inclined to think that the mash, the fermentation, good quality new make spirit going into a good cask,
Mm-hmm.
and a kind of 50-50 balance gives you a better finished product rather than a poor new make spirit going into a good cask. It'll save it a little bit, but it's never going to make it a very good whiskey.
Yeah.
So we would put a lot of time and effort into an experimentation into developing our new make spirit, making it the best that we can do. And ironically as well, Brian and I are massive fans of double distilled.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
We love what you get out of a double distilled new make spirit. And we've done triple distilled, we've done double distilled as well. But we do really like the double distilled whiskey. But it comes back then to, you know, as I said, the quality of the mash, the fermentation, and what you're doing, the length of time, and
Well, so I mean, everybody has their own opinion on what's really important. And oh no, it needs. I like double distilled, triple. Oh, that. But the thing about it is, it's like everything. If it's done with a bit of care and concern and quality, at the end of it, all adds up to producing a good product. You know, you can have a reasonable. I mean, I'm thinking here like single grain whiskies. If you get a single grain whiskey and put it into a good cask and manage it well, it takes a lot longer. But at the end of it, it's a bloody nice drink. You know, it's a you can have a 28-year-old single grain whiskey, and you know you pick them up for like 60, 70 quid a bottle, and they are. I mean, some of them can be really, really good. If you put them in shit casks, it's going to be crap at the end of it. But
of course, yeah.
But you know, so there's that balancing act of all of that. You know, just so many different factors that go into it. But if people, especially if they're small, they can you know, small to middle, they have a lot more control over that, and they can do a bit more time in this, a bit more time in that, because they're not doing it at volume, and it's
Well, some of the smaller distilleries around are doing some of the best stuff in the country. You know, you know, hopefully we'll be in that league in the next number of years. But you look at what the likes of Brendan's doing up in Cologne and stuff like that. You know, a small distillery, but exceptional stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you know, we hope to be doing. You know, that's what we're trying to do is everything we bring out of that level and of that quality and that innovative. And then, you know, as we get a bit bigger and stuff like that, then you know, you'll always do a different scale, but that's the beauty of the small distilleries. You know, this kind of stuff that we can do, and how we finish things, or you know, just quirky little things that you can do with a release that the big boys wouldn't touch with a barge pole because financially it wouldn't be worth their while.
And they just couldn't do it at scale, you know. I mean, you're saying there about innovation. I mean, the likes of David and Fiona over in Shortcross and whatnot. I mean, again, they're slightly, but they're a lot bigger than Cologne. But I mean, they're doing loads of innovative stuff too. I mean, genuinely, us guys up in I say us guys up in the north, you guys up in the north seem to be just smashing it out of the park at the minute. You know, we're doing So many good things, so many cool distilleries. Yourselves coming on board with your release coming out at the end of the year. And honestly, it's really nice, you know.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's funny because Brian and I have been doing it now for 5 years
Yeah.
since the garden shed and all that kind of stuff. But you kind of don't feel that, we make fantastic products, white spirits, great quality products, but you don't feel that you're a distillery until you lay out your first whiskey.
Yeah, well, that's
There's
fair
just
enough.
something about laying out your first whiskey that puts you on the map,
Mhm.
that says you're actually a distillery. It's amazing how many maps of distilleries in Ireland that we're excluded from. And I have to keep pointing out people, actually, we've been laying down whiskey, but until
Yeah.
you do a release,
Yeah.
nobody quite sees you or believes it, so it's kind of it's a number. It's like coming of age on the 21st of December.
Well, I've got my wee water pad here just so you can see you're on it there. Where are
Go,
you?
man.
Wild Atlantic, you're on there. I see you there.
Yeah.
You got given that. You get given that by the guy.
I didn't make it myself, of course.
I know,
I'm not
I
Blue
know.
Peter. So,
listen, do you think it is that? Is it the confirmation? Is it the rubber stamp? Is that it when you bring out your own stuff?
Oh, I think so, Justin. I think it's a 100%. Yeah, when you release your first whiskey, it's it is that coming of age. It's where
Yeah.
you're finally counted among all the whiskey distilleries in the country.
Yeah.
You've brought a whiskey out. People can sample it. They've looked at it. They've sampled. They finally believe that you are. There's enough guys out there that have been talking about building distilleries for 10 or 15 years. Never built a distillery or never will build a distillery. Keep releasing products.
You sound like you're in it for the long term.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. This is I was kind of thinking there, when I got involved in this 5 years ago, when I first started, I was working another job and doing all that, and now we're 100% into distillery. Have been for a number of years. Bloody hell, man! When I meet with whiskey guys or distillery guys and stuff like that, you couldn't ask for better work. I mean,
Yeah.
well, except maybe your job on a Saturday night, guys. But other than that,
The thing is, we don't get paid for this. The lights aren't kept on by us doing this. No.
And I have to do the radio twice in a week for nothing. So there you go. So
there you go.
it looks glamorous. It looks, but it's not. It's not. It's just
no, but I think the way to go is your advertising, guys. I think you need to know,
I can't be bothered. I can't be arsed putting that much effort into it, if I'm honest. Because honestly, I just like doing this for the crack, and I like meeting whiskey people. I love whiskey, I really do. And I just I like the whole thing.
But if Amazon wants somebody to replace the Grand Tour, I would be happy, Jim, for you to join us as the third one.
No problem.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Justin.
I mean, in all honesty, if somebody came along and said, "Right, I'll tell you what, we'll snap you up for TV or something," like that, that's a different ballgame. But you see, running around trying to get a couple of £100 here and there, I couldn't be bothered, because then you sort of feel a bit beholden to people. And if I'm honest, I'm not really that kind of person. I just couldn't be arsed, if I'm honest. But yeah,
he can be bought for a free bottle, and I always want a fish supper.
Justin gets a fish supper. It was everybody's. I get given bottles of stuff all the time, and to be honest, that's one of the reasons I sort of stopped doing. There's a few reasons I stopped doing reviews, and one of them was people giving you bottles, and then you feel a bit, this doesn't feel right. And then if you have to come on and say, "Oh, I was given this," and then you sort of go, "If I was given this, do I give it a bit of a shoeing just to keep credibility?" And then you just feel like a fucking arsehole for doing that.
But it doesn't make any difference, because Proper 12, nobody rates it, but it sells like hotcakes. So
I know.
But giving it a bad review, you're probably helping it.
No, probably not. Oh God, it is. Anyway, so quick couple of things. To enter the lottery for one of your first release bottles, how do you do that, and what's the cost and process and whatnot?
Go on to our website, wildatlanticdistillery.ie, www, and you'll see the page there for the Island Men Irish Whiskey, and you can just fill in your details. All we're asking for now is your details. We'll be showcasing the bottle, the packaging, and everything, how it looks, in the next couple of weeks once we have everything put together. It's all coming on its way to us now, and then once we have that and we release the images of the bottle and how it looks and everything else, and I will give you guys first kind of media exclusive on it. I'll send it to you boys so you can have a
cheers.
look at it, and then at that stage then we'll be announcing the price and everything else. I have good news. It won't be anywhere near £5,000, so you're safe enough.
It doesn't matter to me. Justin's buying mine anyway. Justin buying extra ones.
So looking at that, I am going to review pricing based on that.
It's nuts, like
It is crazy. It is crazy.
But the going forward, because first release bottles, people put an awful lot of time into the design and buy exclusive stuff and all that, and that's one thing. Going forward with your releases and your core range, you know, your blend, idea price points for those generally.
Generally, around the blend, you're probably looking around somewhere in the £50 to £60 mark, somewhere in that range. You know, that's what you're going to be looking at. We still, you know, I mean, looking at all the data and talking to people out there in the business, where our white spirits do really well is because we're a premium product. So premium products are still selling.
Yeah,
it's the lower end of the market where there's difficulty selling products and moving products. But if you're seen as a premium product and your bottle, your packaging looks that way, now you can't go too far because, you know, even now, you know, you've got to watch your price. But there is range in that premium range.
Yeah,
you know, and that kind of, I guess they class it anywhere from 50 to 80 quid in that range. They class as premium. So I would say we'll be in the 50 to 60 pound for our blended whiskies as well. So it's not outrageous.
No.
Good packaging, good design, and a good quality whiskey as well. So
and Island Men's the brand name. That's
Island Men is the brand name. Brian and I are the Island Men. So that's our brand name for our whiskey going forward, and that'll be global. So that'll be all over the US, China, Asia, India, and Europe. So that's the brand that we'll be using for our whiskies going forward.
Excellent.
You know,
so it's only a little over a month.
It's only a little over a month. So it's funny enough. It's so close to Christmas and everything else. So the launch and everything else will be done kind of on social media and stuff like that. But we are planning an event for next year, early next year. So I'll come back and talk to you boys about that event, because that's where we'll be inviting a lot of people who've supported us over the last 3 or 4 years to that event. And we're looking forward to that, because it's a way to say thank you to everybody who's been kind of there with us from the very beginning. And it's really funny, actually. You know, a lot of the, you know, people talk about the business and whiskey and everything else, but the community out there, the whiskey community, is just phenomenal. I mean,
it can be, yeah.
You can pick up the phone to literally anybody, and you know, everybody will you know, are willing to give you 5 minutes and chat about this and chat about that, or they'll ring you or whatever like that. So, you know, hopefully we'll have a lot of other distillers that'll be coming along to see the new boys on the block, as they say.
Well, I mean, as you say, the thing about it is, I think most people realize that a rising tide lifts all ships. If you're doing a good product, doing well, it raises the whole Irish whiskey brand, and everybody kind of gets on board. And nobody's really, okay, theoretically you're in competition with each other, but you're not really. There's enough room for everybody.
Oh, there's enough. You know, we're just not. You know, as you know, we're not producing enough whiskey as it is. You know, we're just not. It's why you've got corporations in California and stuff like that buying it.
And that's why a guy
over the world.
Phoning you up saying, I need 300,000 bottles every year.
Well, you know, hopefully I get that phone call in about 4 or 5 years.
That would be nice. That would be really,
and I'm
really,
in a
really
position
nice
to go, yeah, I can accommodate that. That's not a problem.
No problem. I'll stick you with the rest.
You want to be in that position. Nice. But I should have probably just, well, I did direct him off towards Mr. Teeling, and I said, you know, if you have any chance of it, there's the best place to go.
And I always get the feeling that John Teeling's one of the sort of guy that says yes to everything and then just worries about the details later. It pans out for him, because he could just tell he's one of those high functioning guys. He's just a
Yeah,
clever, and he's such a nice guy. He's such a nice guy.
yeah.
Really is.
He did say to me that he's got one more idea for the Irish whiskey industry. Wouldn't tell us what it is, but he says before John's a good age now. He said before he disappears from the whiskey scene, he's got one more idea under his. So I'm very interested to see, because
yeah.
it would be, believe me, it's probably something outrageous.
And wonderful at the same time, you know. Yeah, God knows what it is. God knows what it is.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
So, anybody who's wanting to get their hands on a bottle of Islandman first release, go to the website, fill in your details, and you never know your luck. And in a month's time, you might be able to get your hands on a bottle of. I'm looking for, because the picture you have at the minute, I know it's just a filler picture.
Yeah.
And it's in the sort of black drape. It's almost Zorro-esque. You know, it's kind of like Zorro. You know, and I kind of like that. Oh, ta-da!
It's a bit dramatic, but we're hoping that the actual bottle and the actual packaging will go beyond that. We know it is because we've seen it, so we kind of.
So it's not an egg box. It's not an egg box.
No. It's something very special. I think you guys will like it. Hopefully, you know. I'm sitting here tonight now, and I've got. It's either going to kill me or cure me. So I've got 68% new make spirit with a hot lem sip, and I'm not even sure that's illegal.
Have you got the lurgy the same as half the country?
Oh, stop! I've had it for 2 weeks now, and I'm trying to get it. So I'm sitting here drinking that.
Well, every tour guide, the whole season long, you're sort of in peak health. And as soon as the fucking season ends, you get sick. Every single one of us.
Oh, yeah.
And basically, I finished my last tour, came home, next day, started feeling like shit, and then I had that cold for about a week. And a pile of other stuff I had to try and get caught up on. And I can still sort of hear it in my voice. And that's like 3 weeks ago. More, I feel 100%, but I can still sort of feel it lingering. Everybody seems to have it, you know.
Oh, I know. But at least this stuff makes me sleep, so that's all I ask for.
If I can get, if you're into sleeping, you could maybe try fighting Jake Paul, because you get £20 million for it. That's basically what Mike Tyson done. He put his glove and then just wandered around letting your man try, and he was doing fuck all either. So I don't know. That's easy money.
The only reason I would have watched last night, and I didn't watch it, but the only reason I would have watched it is for Katie Taylor. That was it. You know,
honestly, but most successful sports person ever from Ireland.
Yeah,
easily. Oh, fantastic woman, fantastic.
She's a complete phenom. She's amazing, and I would have watched it just for that. But I can't watch Jake Paul. I mean, God forgive me.
I don't mind it because it's not real. It's internet, so it's not real. But I'm looking forward to Barry McGuigan in the jungle.
Get out of it.
I'm a celebrity. Get me out of
here. You're just wanting to see. I know what Justin's doing here because he'll watch it and go, I wonder, could I eat a kangaroo?
I could not eat any of that. I couldn't.
Don't kid yourself. Don't kid yourself.
You'll put me up for supper.
but listen, anybody that wants to get their hand on a bottle of Jim's Wild Atlantic whiskey, go and register on the website, and you never know your luck. And then look out next year for the releases and the blend to be coming as well. Islandman whiskey, and congratulations, buddy! And I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate that, and look forward to seeing you at the distillery, boys. You know?
We'll eventually get there. There's Darren Fleck. He's registered and all.
There you go. Fantastic, Darren. That's. See, you could be charging me for that, there, boys. You could be, every click there. You should be charging me a couple.
Tell you what you do. Send a couple of bags of crisps to Justin, and that's us. That's us fair. We're all right with that.
Right.